back to my channel. So a few weeks ago, I don't know if you saw the video where one of my channel members had sent me a tumbler turner, and we're gonna use it today. So I've never done this before. I've watched many YouTubers do it, and we're just gonna go for it today. So the first thing I'm doing is I am using a 20-ounce skinny stainless steel tumbler. Now, when I ordered them, I thought I got just the silver stainless steel ones, but they came in white, so I don't know if I just wasn't paying enough attention or if they sent me the wrong ones, but either way, that's what we're using today. Now, since it's white, and I'm making this one for my daughter because she's my guinea pig for all of the stuff that I'm trying out for the first time. Uh, she kind of wants a glittery type background, so white would be the great color for it anyway, so we're just going to go with it. Now, the first thing that I'm doing is I did go over the entire cup with a 180 grit sandpaper block, and now I'm just kind of filling in that little bottom portion to make it flat with some UV resin. And today's UV resin is, I want to say it's NicPro. I didn't write it down, so that's fantastic. I'll have it in the video description below so you can check it out. Okay, so after it's all nice and sanded, now I am going to go over with a paper towel and some 99% isopropyl alcohol to clean off all of that dust particles and all of that stuff from sanding it. And now we're going to do the tack it method, or at least attempt it anyway. So I've seen a couple videos where they dilute the tack it glue with 50-50. So 50% glue to 50% water. So that's what I did. And I'm just taking this paintbrush and I'm brushing it all over the cup. Just kind of like a thin-ish coat, trying to get as many of the brushstrokes out as possible as I'm going there. And you can see I'm making a hell of a mess all over the place with this glue. And then I'm going to make sure that I get the bottom as well, just so that, I want the glitter to stick there too. And we're going to see if we can make this work. So now I'm going to let it set. Now, this is dry-ish. I mean, obviously it stays tacky, but you know what I mean. It's dry enough to work with it. So my daughter picked 5 different glitters. She picked these purple stars, blue stars, kind of like a white iridescent glitter that when it shines kind of green. It picks up some green in it. And then it's called cherry blossom glitter that April had sent me a few months back, and some teal hollow glitter. Now, my thought process is I kind of want to go around in a swirl-ish type motion. And because of the colors that she picked, I'm trying to keep the blues and the purples kind of separated by the white. So we're going to go in here with this apple blossom color, or cherry blossom color, which I absolutely love this. It's such a beautiful, gorgeous glitter. I really do. It's one of my favorite ones that April had sent me. And so I'm going to go over with this. Now, as you can see, I'm not doing a good job at all keeping this glitter on the paper, which is a problem. And now we're going to go in with the white. Now, if you haven't done something like this, might I recommend not using one sheet of paper. Use one sheet of paper per color. It'll make your life easier. And also, use something bigger, because this makes a hella mess. Like, I'm not even joking. Glitter, like, I mean, we all know once you work with glitter, your house is going to be covered in glitter anyway. Like, there's just no going back from it. But this was real. So now I'm going to go in with the blue. Now, like I said, I kind of wanted that separation between the purples and the blue and the pink. So I just kind of went over with the white in between, like on the side of the pink and the side of the purple, so that my blues will be kind of by themselves and whatever. In the end, it's not going to make a difference, and you'll see why. And now I'm going over this gorgeous teal. Now, after I'm done applying like the colors, I'm going to go back in with this white again and kind of go over where these stars are, because the stars didn't like really cover there's a lot of empty white spots, and I at least want that area covered in glitter. So here's the thing. I don't know. I've seen people do this tack it over method, and when they kind of like burnish the the glitter into the cup or whatever it is that they're doing. I've seen them use chunky glitter. I don't know what happened, if it's because they're star shaped or if I maybe just did something wrong. But when I start to rub over this, like, those stars give me hell. For one, I lose almost all of them. Like the fine glitter that's iridescent white, perfectly fine. These stars, not so much. And then what ends up happening is they're like scratching the glitter that's in there. So, especially in the teal, you can really notice it. And I tried to fix it, but I couldn't. So, we're going to hide it. But there's actually streaks, like where it looks like somebody scratched it. And I'm guessing that it's the points and the sharp edges from the stars. I don't know. I don't know what happened and why it did that. My first time, so I've never done this before. So we'll see. Okay, so this is where I think I kind of got things backwards too. So I went out after I was done playing around with the glitter. I went out and I did the spray coat of Mod Podge, the matte sealer. Sprayed the whole cup down, let it dry for like a half hour or so, and now I'm going in here with a super soft brush and brushing off any glitter that kind of is still loose and whatever. And I think that you're supposed to do it the other way around. I think you're supposed to do it with a harder brush, maybe like a firmer brush, brush all the loose glitter off, and then spray seal it down. So I think I got that part backwards. I mean, in the end, it works okay. So I don't know. And I did go in before I did this part, and I did try to apply more of that tack it glue and add glitter to get it to stick in those spots where the scratch marks are, but it wouldn't work. So we're just gonna go with it and see if I can find something to cover up those areas. All right, so here's the part where I struggled. I'm left-handed. Don't ask me why. I am going in here acting like I am a right-handed person and my brain works that way, cuz it does not. It doesn't. I struggled so much with this first coat that, like, I couldn't figure out how to get my hands to work. My brain, it just it wasn't communicating to my hands properly. So I struggled with this. Now, I mean, I got there in the end, and it worked and it covered the stuff. I do have to do two coats of this because of those star glitter things. They just did not want to cover, and it's probably in part because I really couldn't get them like pushed down onto that cup to lay flat. So they're still kind of poking up. So it did take two coats. That and the fact that I think I used the wrong resin for this job. I used the Let's Resin, just their normal epoxy resin. And after using it, I learned that it's honestly, I think it's too thin for this. It was just kind of like it should have been a thicker viscosity. So that being said, like, I love Let's Resin, and please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's an amazing resin. I just don't think it was the right resin for this job, because it just didn't cover the way as thick as I needed it to cover, and it was kind of dripping off in some areas. Like, I want to say I mixed up like 30 milliliters on this, just because I wanted to give myself a little bit of extra stuff to work with, I guess. Now, I did sand after that first coat because I don't know what I'm doing. And I was trying to get some of those spots where that glitter was like making it uneven, kind of smoothed out some. From what I think I've seen afterwards, I probably shouldn't have done it this way. I probably should have went straight in with the second coat, let it cover up, and then done a sanding, because if you sand with that first coat, and if that coat isn't thick enough, especially if you spray painted over like the initial color of your cup, you can sand off your spray paint job, right? If there's no resin covering it, you're not sanding the resin, you're just sanding your cup now. And that's not what you want to do. So you go in there with that second layer before you sand, and then you have more epoxy to kind of that's on there so that if you sand through, you're not destroying the cup that you've already worked hard on. Now, you wouldn't notice on this cup because it was white anyway. And I did make sure that I got around the edge of the top of the cup to make sure that when I go in there with this next coat of resin, that there is like it's perfect, right? Like I want it to have something to grip onto and not have an issue later on. So I did make sure all the way around you could see a little bit of that silver from the cup, and we're gonna go with that. Now, this is where I decide that I'm going to try something else to see if I can kind of hide up some of these scratch marks that's on the teal that are just really, really an eyesore. So I took about 20 mils of the resin. This time I'm using Let's Resin's 4-hour demold resin, the fast cure, because it's the thickest viscosity resin that I have right now. And I thought that it would probably, hopefully, maybe do better. So we'll see, and I'm going over the entire thing with it. I did pull a little off to the side, and I am going to add some lavender mica powder to it and kind of put in some streaks and see if it'll kind of move around and maybe spread out to cover some of those scratch marks that are in there in the glitter, and see if we can't hide it. My initial idea for this was I wanted to do kind of like a peekaboo type tumbler for her. Now, because once I saw the glitter and she really, really liked it, but the glitter didn't turn out exactly how I had planned, I kind of changed my mind on it and we're just going to go another way. So we're just going to see. And hopefully it'll work out for me. I don't know. I don't know. A lot of my projects, I have one idea in mind, and then going part way through, it takes a whole nother turn in a whole nother direction, and that is just as true for this one. Now, the areas that I struggled with most on this cup is the bottom, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like the first coat didn't want to, especially around like the bottom kind of like rim of it, it didn't want to like cover the right way. And then it ended up at the end being uneven and bumpy. So I'm not entirely sure what I did wrong. But as you can see, I just am putting in some kind of lines of this really, really pretty lavender in here. And then I'm just going to heat it up just a little bit with my heat gun just to kind of help maybe hopefully get a bit some more movement. And then we're going to switch the rotation of it to see if we can get a little bit more movement. And here we are. Now, that resin worked so much better. Like it's perfect. And it was cured in 4 hours, which made it even better. So I'm all about it. Okay, now time for the next step. I we went through some of my temporary tattoos, and we decided that this is the route that we're going to go with it. And this will kind of, because of course that purple that I put on there didn't hide all of the stuff that I wanted it to hide, so I still need to add some more stuff to it to kind of get rid of it. So we're going to go this route, and I think it's going to work because I have a pretty light background. Most of the time when I do temporary tattoos, I always lose them in whatever colors I pick, so hopefully this will work. We're going to try. Now, I'm just kind of trying to figure out the best placement for this, and I want to make it straight, so I'm kind of marking where the middle of this the bottom part of the stem is, and I know where the cut is for the top part of the rose, so that when I put it on it's straight, peeling off that protective layer. And now we're just going to kind of put it on here and push it around the cup ever so carefully, making sure that there's no like air bubbles in it. I realize it's not wet, but I do want to get it down as flat as possible. And then going in with our water and just soaking the back of this temporary tattoo. And hopefully it comes off without any hitches and we can get this good to go and move on to the next step. She did decide that there's two other roses that are the same as the big one, they're just different sizes, and we're going to add those to it as well just to kind of, give the cup some more interest, even though I think it's already looking pretty gorgeous. Like, I like it a lot already. I'm super impressed with how it's turning out, especially, being my first go at it. And right now I'm just making sure that, everything's pushed on nicely, trying to see if this is ready to kind of lift off. And we're going to ever so carefully lift this off and hope that I don't have any bubbles in it and just that it just went straight and everything's good. And look how gorgeous. Like, oh, it's so pretty. Like, just those colors behind it, absolutely gorgeous. Carefully with a paper towel, just blotting off the excess water. I'm going to give this a few minutes for it to totally dry on here. And then we are going to apply these other two. And I'm just cutting them close. Now, she didn't like the top part of it, so I did cut that off of all of them just because it was kind of, she didn't want it all on there, so it's fine. Now we're going to apply these other two, so I'm kind of just putting them on the back so that you can, the front side has something pretty, the back side has something pretty, and then we're going to add some more stuff to it because I'm not done yet. So just carefully working this on, and I was really kind of worried that, I'm trying too many techniques in one thing, because most people, their first time doing something would go like a super simple easy route where there's, you know less avenues of failure, but not me. I'm gonna make it as complicated as I possibly can because that is the way my brain works. Okay, so offsetting this one just a little bit, just because it would look dumb having them standing up side by side. It was just stupid. And we're just gonna rub this one on and then pull it off, pat off any excess water, let these babies finish drying for a few minutes, just so that the tattoos don't scrape off when I move it around my cup holder. And then we're going to start applying some of the finishing touches to this. Now, we did kind of go back and forth about what colors. I have a really pretty washi tape that's kind of like this iridescent blue, and it shows like purples and stuff that at first we thought would look really pretty, but once applying it to the cup, it was just awful. Like, you couldn't see it. It looked gross. So we decided on this silvery glitter one that I have, and I like it a lot. Now, hindsight, I wanted to put it on the top and bottom, but because of the position of that big rose, it is too close to the top of the cup for me to be able to add this thick washi tape on there without it covering up part of the flower. So we just did it on the bottom, and it's fine. It's fine. Like, I would have preferred having it top and bottom, but it'll be okay. Other thing that nobody tells you, and everybody that I've seen use washi tape makes it look so freaking easy, is getting it to line up on the bottom of your cup without getting like these little stupid wrinkles in the washi tape. You like I guess the very bottom must go in a little bit more than the top or something. It says it's a straight tumbler. It must not be very straight because I had to bring it up some in order to be able to get that washi tape to go smoothly. You can't have it too close to the bottom. And I don't know if it's just a thing that everybody but Nicole knows, but it took me a hot minute to figure it out. Now I am going in with that nail tape stuff that you guys have seen me use a couple other times, and I'm just kind of going in with purple and silver. I'm using the nail tapes just to kind of give it a little bit more interest. I am going to take a line and kind of go around the top with it because I felt like, yeah, it just needed something. And then we're gonna play around some more with it because, I just can't leave well enough alone, so we're just gonna keep going. and add some more little designs and stuff to it because I like it. I do, but I just want it. I don't know. I just want it more. I want more. So I'm going to go in with this kind of diagonal line with the purple, and then I'm going to go in with this like iridescent silver that I've got, or not iridescent, it's a holographic silver. And I'm going to kind of go on either side of the purple. So that's what I'm doing. And then after that part, I'm just going to take it back outside. I'm going to respray it again really well with the Mod Podge matte spray sealer. Let that dry, and then hopefully put on my last coat of resin. But we'll see, because I don't know. I don't know. I might need 2 coats. I'm really not sure at this point. Never done it before. So we're just going to kind of see. I do like this nail stuff for this. I think it adds just that little bit of extra something to it. And you can do, different designs and all of that kind of stuff with it. So it's finally, after almost a year of having it, coming in pretty handy. And I'm digging it. I really am. So, question for any of you that have done tumblers before: to get the bottom of it actually even, like, is there something that I'm doing wrong? Because I did have to go in afterwards and sand it because the bottom just, it was wobbly. Like, I don't know what the issue was. I don't know if I put too much on it. I don't know. So if you have any kind of tips, tricks, helpful advice that you could give me and leave in the comment section, I would greatly appreciate it, like more than you know. All right, back to the video. So this is the next coat. This is after I sprayed the Mod Podge sealer, and I am still using Let's Resin's 4-hour cure because I've had better luck with it. And we're just gonna kind of apply it and, you know, hope for the best. Now, I did have to put 2 coats on because it did not cover my washi tape, completely as much as I would like it to. So this is after the second coat. It's all done. Now it's just a matter of taking my X-Acto knife and cleaning up all the resin and all of that on the inside, going in with a paper towel with acetone on it, and cleaning out all of that, and we are done. That's it. That is a wrap on this one, guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I will catch you on Tuesday in the next one. Love ya. Bye.